Y'all, back for another audio occasion, the podcast for self-starters and those willing to make the most out of any situation. And today we have a beautiful piece of audio that was very touching in a lot of ways, and comes from one of the people on our topic. So we're gonna open up with this one today.
Let me hear it, please.
Well, you gotta get past this part.
The ones that we've been through everything with, I am so appreciative. I don't get any of this without my guards feeding me the basketball. So thank you guys. But I hope y'all know how much I love y'all, each and every last one of y'all. Y'all will never understand how much y'all mean to me, because there's days where I hate being Asia Wilson. I hate it. But when I come into work and I see y'all smiling and I see y'all just happy, makes me who I am. And I am so grateful to have teammates like y'all, because y'all listen, I can go on. Y'all are just amazing people, and I love coming into work with y'all every single day. Because life is hard, we all know it is. But when I come into work and I see y'all, it changes my whole outlook on life. So I am so appreciative for y'all, because it's hard. We know it's hard. But I'm nothing without y'all, and I'm so grateful. And thank you so much. Never change, y'all. Never change.
Never change, y'all. Never change. Round of applause as we open things up. Couple air horns as we open things up. Once again, we are back. The podcast for self-starters and those willing to make the most out of any situation. The EFS podcast is here for episode number 30. 30. I almost backtracked us. 31.
Yes.
Episode number 31. Ain't gonna short us on the episode count. Here, your host, D Burke, back for another episode with the man Waldo Black in the house. Couple air horns on the way in as well. It's only right we get the air horns rocking. Episode number 31 is back. We here, we live, we tired, we're fatigued.
Hey.
But we here for y'all.
Chock full of experience,
the viewers, the listeners.
Some beautiful experiences, brother.
You, and you out there. Thank you for tuning in to episode number 31. If you've made it to the audio/visual occasion on Spotify, Apple, and I'm sorry, I laughed at that. If you made it to the audio/visual occasion, as my man Waldo gets his groove on over here, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe on all platforms. We love to love. Tell a friend as we keep this thing going. The subscriber count is rising. Little by little. I'm thinking about doing a giveaway. As we fade out the theme music. Okay. We will make sure that we
getting some prizes.
Appreciate the people that have been showing up on a consistent basis. I got to figure out how exactly I want to do it, and then from there we'll roll out the details on it. But I definitely want to do a giveaway, kind of to help promote the pod and let people know that it's out there, and
that we appreciate the EFS family.
Of course, the day ones have been rocking with us from the start. But we'll figure out how we want to make that happen at a later point. But either way, we here. Episode number 31 is live. So as we get to it, a little check-in, mentally, physically, all things between. How you feeling? We just said we tired. So
yeah, we already go into. You already know how we feeling. If you listen to the pre-pod, only available on Spotify at current, you'll see how we were feeling and what was going on a little bit earlier.
Yeah. A lot of activities over the last few days.
Yeah, man.
Celebrated my daughter's birthday recently, so we took out of town for a little trip. Got to do a couple things.
Air horn for that, man. One time. Hey.
Air horn for my baby girl turning 8.
Appreciate it, man.
Love you, baby. Had a great time with you this weekend.
Yeah, it was
family, great times all across. So, outside of that, man, I guess we just get right into it.
Jump in, bro. It's been a lot happening in the world.
A lot happening in the world. We'll get to it right out the gate here. As we just opened up with the audio, Asia Wilson. Want to give a big round of applause for her one more time. We'll give a short one. We gave her a little bit earlier. The one and only woman to score 1,000 points in a WNBA season, and the season's not even over yet.
Yikes.
Surpassed the record with her most recent performance. She did it on jump shot, which I like, because, it ain't an easy basket, and it was good. It's going, going to the right side.
So what was the previous record,
The previous record was 939 points.
939.
I think 939. Hold up. Let me find it real quick.
But that's a 1,000 on your head top is crazy for a season.
I mean, for a WNBA season, for sure.
I know. That's what I'm saying. The qualifier is there already because I'm talking about
shorter season than the NBA, which we know. It's just not. It's no real feat for NBA players to score 1,000 points in a season, but for her to put up the numbers she's putting up at this point, A'ja Williams, if I'm just being honest, she's becoming one of my favorite athlete people in general.
Okay, yeah. I like that statement. Yeah.
And been following her as she's grown over the last couple of years, dominating the WNBA, Defensive Player of the Year, MVPs, championships, all that. She's
goating right now.
Yeah, she's a real winner. And just, diving into her more and more as a person, and then the audio we just played at the beginning of the podcast, it ain't the first time we've used her as audio to open up the podcast. I think it was way, way before episodes ago when we had a post-game presser that she put out. She got emotional at the presser talking about, her experience as an athlete and life and how difficult things are. Yeah, just raw passion. She goes out there. She works hard. She plays both ends of the floor, which I love players that don't, cut it short on the defensive side of things. And she puts a lot out there into the game, man. And I really think that she's a great role model for the young women athletes and just young athletes in general. Like, if you want somebody that does it at the highest level, does not shortcut the game, it's her. It's her. So, again, one of my favorite athletes and people lately, so I got to show her flowers, show her love, hear from us to y'all. You deserve it. Hopefully this season that we currently in leads you to more greatness, maybe another finals run. We'll see, winding down, going to get into playoff time here soon. And we'll see what it looks like, but I definitely appreciate what she brings to the game. She always popping out to the game, fly as hell too. Like, her stylist is amazing. If you into that kind of thing, I'm under the fashion game. Supposedly she's dating Bam Adebayo now, so that might be the next it couple. Next basketball it couple
pairing. Not bad or good, just interesting. I've never seen those two together, so I was like,
they've been catching them recently. Before the Olympics, because men's and women's, they both went out to the Olympics, so they caught them together doing something. They just gave Bam Adebayo the key to the city in Miami recently, and he had her as a +1 guest, and she was there in the crowd. So that's when things really started to heat up.
Kids,
and then they just caught him the other day. They was in Indiana. They played the Fever. Bam Adebayo was in Indiana, I guess, to watch the game, and they caught him on the streets walking after. So I'm guessing it's a thing. We'll see. Not to get into too many people's love life and all that, but
no, but still, that's a pairing right there. That's a good pairing.
That's a tall ass pairing. Yeah, that's like
they're gonna be so tall.
The genetics, if they were ever to birth a child, would be like you gotta draw a little blood from the baby and put that joint in like a lab somewhere. Whenever cloning and all this shit.
We just
really
need
becomes...
whatever we do. If they do have a kid, they need to make sure they hire whoever's training LeBron James and have him do it for the rest of their.
I'm pretty
had
sure.
a long lasting career like he had, man. That thing crazy.
Hey man, we'll see.
Shouts
to A'ja Wilson. Shouts to everything she got going on. Just wanted to take a moment to give you your flowers here on the EFS pod. Man. Congrats on the record. We see what happens the rest of the season. More success, more everything, and just keep living in the moment, man. I can't wait till the shoe drop whenever it does drop, because I know they actually. It depends. Right. I haven't really gotten into the women's basketball shoes yet. I know Sabrina, she has her shoes. Been out. She's on her second shoe right now with Nike. But yeah, I haven't really gotten into too many women's basketball players' shoes just because they either don't look good to me, not to shit on the shoe, but I like to rock shit that I can, look good and also play well in. Like the performance of the shoe has to go top notch for me before anything else. But yeah, so we'll see what the shoe looks like when she drop it. But I know it's coming now. It has to be, because all she's doing right now, it'd be a travesty. It'd be a crime if she doesn't have her own signature shoe with all she's done for the women's game and just putting it on like the biggest level, the biggest platform.
MVP? It's like without, I don't know other. You put 1,000 points up. I think you kind of
3 years in a row.
It's not in a row. It'll be. She won.
Wait,
she won
first
one.
20.
She won the second one in 2022.
Sorry. It was a year in between. My bad. I'm remiss on that. But
so I mean, it'd be like every other year she gets an MVP.
I mean, yeah. But I think is it back-to-back defensive players she won?
2022 and 2023 she won.
Yeah, back-to-back defensive players. There was a year between on the MVPs. Yeah.
She's a 3-time all WNBA first team.
Yeah, that girl got it, man.
All-star.
That girl got it. I don't see any reason why she's not a front runner for MVP at this point, but if not, then
who's more valuable if they putting 1,000 points up? I can't like that's where
there's a lot of other things that go into it, but they winning too, so she got a strong case.
When you say value, though, isn't that the most important thing is to put the ball in the hoop?
Not necessarily, because the person who wins the scoring championship doesn't always win the MVP every year.
That's fair, but she's going to win the scoring championship if they have. Do they have a scoring championship for WNBA?
I mean, not a championship, but the leading scorer in the league, points per game is what I was saying.
Yeah. So, I'm saying, though, do they have that though?
Yeah, I mean, everybody recognizes the person who scored the most points.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's not like an actual award, like a trophy for it, but it definitely goes on your resume, like led the league in scoring X year, like that kind of shit.
I'm looking at it like this: if you put up 1,000 points, that screams to me.
If you do something that's never been done, then it does. And not to say that because Angel Reese, she had the rebound record. Before she unfortunately, I think she broke a hand or something like that. I can't remember the exact injury. It was a hand injury that she's out the rest of the season. Caitlin Clark just scored the most points for a rookie. So,
she had the most assists, I think, too, Caitlin.
Yeah. So, they doing big things.
It's a lot going on in the W. I'm very impressed. I might be going to a next season, a couple games.
I'm going to tune in more to the games live when the playoffs come around. Same thing with the NBA. Like, a lot of that shit is just...
Most assists in a single season. That's what Caitlin got.
Yeah, but she just had another thing,
317 dimes.
Yeah, but she just had the most points for a rookie in the season, I think, as well. If I'm wrong on that, then forgive me, but I think I just saw that headline on the timeline come across yesterday. But, yeah, a lot of big things going on in the W. We waiting on the NBA season to kick off. I'm seeing all the hoopers getting their preseason runs in. A lot of that going on post-Olympics. Seeing a lot of the trainers have their open runs, their NBA open runs segments, or just chance for the players to come in and fuck around and hoop and get the cardio in, get their skills tight before training camps kick off. So,
just a question: is Diana Taurasi wrong now? Is she officially wrong about the
about what?
Angel Reese and Caitlin she was talking a lot of jazz about it's going to be an adjustment. It's not going to be the same.
No, I don't think she was wrong.
She still thinks she was valid what she was saying, because I think the way they're performing it's.
But I think whatever Diana Taurasi said got taken like out of context a little bit, because it was said in a way to say like, don't give them all the praise just yet, like let them earn it, because when you get to the league, it's going to be adjustment. And we saw what happened when Caitlin Clark first came in the league. She was getting her shit kicked all over the place, like, and having to deal with really coming into a big girls league. And Angel Reese too, like she got threw on the ground early in the season, so it is an adjustment. It's not to say that she was downing them as players to say they weren't capable of performing on that level. She was just saying every player's going to have to go through an adjustment period.
Yeah.
Did anybody think they was going to be this good coming out? Maybe, maybe not. They've been singing Caitlin Clark's praises since she was in college, saying she was going to do this kind of stuff in the league. So I think it was just a wait and see thing,
Yeah.
And from her perspective, I don't think it was wrong, because, it's the next level. So you really just got to play it out and see how it happens,
I just don't think that I think she may have underestimated them coming into the league. And I think she has to at least give them respect for being the great players that they are.
I mean, possibly.
Not necessarily. Well, she doesn't have to do anything. Who am I, Diana?
More or less, yeah. She ain't got to do anything. She don't want to.
Now when I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, that doesn't hold true. Your statement, yes, there was an adjustment period, but they adjusted really damn well.
No doubt.
If you look at the adjustment.
But that's what good players do.
People would hope they could have that kind of adjustment period.
But that's what good players do. And players who can really make a name for themselves in any league, coming from, this is all across all sports, from the college ranks to the NFL, from the college ranks to the NBA. Shit, I'm sure if you are playing baseball, when you come from AA to, and you advancing up higher and higher, like there's adjustment levels. The talent gets better and better and better. You're playing against literally the best athletes at that sport, potentially in the world. No allows, whatever, fuck off. But you're playing against the best athletes in your sport, so you're really going to have a chance to test yourself against them to see who you are. So I think it's just always an adjustment period. But good players, the ones who stick, are the ones that are going to show out and, make a name for themselves. And we're seeing them do that right now. Angel Reese, I will walk back some of my feelings earlier about her adjustment period to the league. I thought Caitlin Clark was going to, be a little bit, I guess, fare a little bit better when she first got there. I didn't give Angel Reese that much credit. And I think
really?
Yeah. I'll walk some of that back. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Because you got to go against girls who's just as big as you, just as strong as you, and then been there again. These are grown women that you're now stepping into the league with and having to go against. But I'm not saying I think she was going to be trash, but I didn't see most rebounds in freaking history, like in one season.
Come on, you know what I'm saying?
You know, so that's an accomplishment, and shouts to her for that kind of stuff for sure. Like I'm always going to be the one to walk back my statement if I'm proven like wrong or if my view on the situation wasn't exactly correct. And
Right.
yeah,
That's why I look at the situation and I try to go with the numbers, right? Like, what does the numbers tell you?
I mean, the numbers look good right now. Numbers look good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the stats for both of them are, to me, better than Diana's. If you go to Diana's stats,
Right now, we can't like
when she was a rookie. I'm talking about when she was a rookie.
Oh, okay. I'm thought you were
17
comparing.
points, 4.4 rebounds,
Mhm.
3.9 assists per game.
Sure.
We look at Angel, it's 13.6 points, 13.1 rebounds, and 1.3 steals.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at Caitlin, 19.5 points, 5.7 rebounds, 8.4 assists, 1.3 steals. Where was the adjustment period? They're outperforming in some areas than she was when she was a rookie.
I mean, I don't like to get into the comparisons like that.
The only
just
reason
because,
why I say is because she made the statement about how.
True,
there's
but
gonna
as
be
a
an
rookie,
adjustment.
said whatever her numbers were wasn't nothing to
That's what I'm saying. So
turn
I'm
your
like-
nose up at either. Like her numbers was pretty good for a rookie.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, if they're performing at your level, if not better, then I think she might need to go back on her statement a little bit. Not saying fully that there wasn't an adjustment period, yeah, but she made it seem like they wasn't going to be able to do what they did, dominate the way they dominate, and they are dominating.
I mean, that's fair. I didn't take it that way, so I don't think that she needs to walk anything back because I think she was just painting it from a media and everybody else like jumping on the bandwagon
Yeah.
perspective. Like, yeah, I gotta calm down. Like, let the girls go through the process.
She didn't
And then
come off that
see.
way. I'll tell you that. That's what I said.
But
yeah,
there's,
yeah.
you know, they gonna clip it up. They gonna make it clickbait. Like they gonna make it look like she had an issue because that's what fuels the media fire. Like, you know.
Yeah.
So from my perspective, I'm saying I didn't take it as smoke. I just thought she was being true and honest, and someone who's been through the adjustment period to say like, listen, like it ain't gonna be like they just come in the league and they just walk in and they just are MVP caliber players, which neither of them I don't think are MVP caliber players yet. This is getting off Asia Wilson. We are talking about Angel and Caitlin right now.
Yeah.
You know, I think they're doing well. They putting on.
doing-
They
they're doing
showing they're
great,
gonna be
yeah.
a force in the league for a while. So
I'm excited about it, actually.
but Diana, I don't think it was actual really smoke. I think she was just pissed off more so because, like we talked about, the media and then how everybody just jumped on the bandwagon. Oh, Caitlin Clark, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
Like you get tired of hearing that shit if you actually been there, put in the work, and then just put your own stamp on like I'm one of the best women players
She
in
is.
history.
I'm not even taking no shine off of her.
Yeah.
At 42 years old, though, she's reached the
And she's
pinnacle
still
of the
rocking.
game, and she's the pinnacle of the
And
game.
she's
like,
still rocking.
She don't got to prove nothing to these young girls. Let these
No
young
doubt.
girls rock, yo. Let them have their fun, yo.
No doubt. So
That's what I'm trying. Don't hate on the young folk.
I
That's
think
all
she
I'm
was just
saying.
being a representative of the WNBA to say, listen, we welcome them in the league, but they still got work to do, and
Yes.
they still got work to do.
They do.
'cause
They do.
Outside of just scoring numbers and rebounds and all the other stuff like that, they still got to like put on and get in the playoffs
Yep.
and win.
You got to win
Angel
something.
Reese, she got to get healthy, so you know we'll give her time to heal up and all that. But
Mhm.
you know, Caitlin, they battling right now, so we're gonna see how it turn out.
Yeah, that rookie of the year race.
Yeah, it's over now. It's over.
You don't think there's a chance for Angel?
Possibly, but again, shorter collection in the body of work. We see how the rest of the season pans
That's
out for
fair.
Caitlin Clark.
That's fair.
They both have, you know, like historic-ish
Impressive
kind of
resume.
numbers, so we're gonna
Impressive
see how it leans. I still think Cole, if you just wanted to do the right thing for the game collectively, I think
Yeah. Cole would be
works.
great.
You know,
Everybody
especially
wins.
with Angel, you know, going out the way she went out, because that record would have been even bigger if she was
Yeah.
still on the court right now. So
Yeah.
I think you got to factor that in. But that's just my opinion, which doesn't hold water to some people. I don't really care. But
You a professional basketball player? Like,
I mean,
you
no
can say
doubt.
something.
I'm just giving my opinion on it. I think
Yeah.
Cole Rookie of the Year would be the right way to go about it. But you know,
We'll see.
what happens.
We'll see. It's gonna be a tough race, though.
For sure. Moving forward, still in sports.
What you want to shift to, man?
NFL, man.
What you thinking?
NFL. You said we don't talk enough football on here, so we're gonna
We
open
don't
up for a
talk football
little
at
bit
all.
of football talk before
Listen,
we get
put
to
a football right on the table, right there.
the meaty section of the conversation, which is coming up after that. I think maybe we'll see. But yeah, NFL season kicked off. Any early thoughts about the parity in the NFL? A
What
lot
you
of these
mean?
teams who were supposed to be good took L's yesterday.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Let me say this.
A lot of them. Like all the people, these teams.
Is
And it's only
anybody-
2 weeks in, but I
Is
think
anybody else feeling like we're watching WWE in NFL at this point.
What you mean?
It just feels like did you watch the Kansas City Chiefs game?
Which one?
The one against the Texans? Who was they playing against? Who was the Chiefs play the other day?
Texans? Nah, Texans played. I'm tripping. I just watched it last night. Texans played the Bears.
Bengals.
Okay, yeah.
The Bengals game.
Nah, I didn't see that. I saw the score.
It just felt. Yeah, Taylor Swift there. You're getting shots of her.
What else is new?
It just felt very. If you never watched WWE, then you won't understand the reference.
I know what you mean, WWE.
But it felt like, I don't want to say scripted, but it felt predetermined. That's what I want to say. It had a feeling of predetermination.
In what way?
In a way that the balls were moving, the way the calls were being called, the way that the game was ultimately going down a road that we knew on primetime television with Taylor Swift in the building, the Kansas City Chiefs were going to win that game. No matter how you cooked it up, it was going to be that. It just felt that way.
Going to have a shot.
I'm not saying it was. it felt it. And if you ever watch WWE, you ever watch any of these kind of things, you kind of just, you start to see the storyline in it a little bit. And I started to feel like I could see it. But that's my personal take. And I've said this on the podcast before. I have a little inkling of conspiracy theory in me. That's it. I just keep it like, I wonder.
I mean, they're still unbeaten, so either way.
There you go.
Like, I think.
Not saying that Pat Mahomes ain't one of the, one of the greatest in the league right now, if not the greatest in the league right now in terms of quarterback position. I'm just looking at the sport, and I'm looking at the advertising, the business, like they know that this is the cash cow, right? It's kind of like you gotta make sure they keep winning.
Not necessarily.
All right.
Because I think it's more entertaining when they lose at this point.
For you, because you.
Not saying that. I'm saying for the general consumer. The general consumer, like when you see the same thing over and over, that's when it get boring. You know. That's when it gets boring to say like who else is going to compete against them.
I disagree respectfully. We are on our 10th Fast and the Furious. We like what we like.
Oh, I stopped watching that shit.
But the masses,
Fast Five.
Masses. I'm saying you are not you're an outlier. You know what I'm saying? Most people aren't you, man.
I think they just making shit to make it at this point.
And they make it because it still sells. They wouldn't put a $30 million box office movie in if it didn't bring them back $150 million.
I mean, no doubt. But movies and sports is different though. Movies are predetermined scripts and et cetera,
people are the same. Entertainment's entertainment.
It is, but sports has a lot more, and the NFL has always had parity in it. Like, there's no dynasties in the NFL but maybe like the Patriots at one point, the Dolphins way back in the day and the Cowboys ain't been a dynasty since back in the day.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm just saying that there's been some.
Yeah, sure, but that's like
Green Bay had it.
I mean,
there's been a few of them, Jones.
But there's always going to be times when the NBA, I mean, not the NBA, the NFL can get flipped on its head, and then there's going to be another really great team. So, and that just goes to show that the NFL has always had parity. There's never going to be one team that's like the unbeatable best for so long in the NBA. Outside of like most recently Kansas City, which is why I think it's more entertaining if they were to actually lose because we expect them to win at this point. So now seeing somebody beat them is going to be the thing like, oh shit, are they really going to? Even last year when the receivers was dropping passes all year and Pat Mahomes was getting mad and all this other shit, like I think that was the point when people were like, "Ooh, it's really looking like," and then they turn it on in the playoffs and they win. So, I think that seeing them lose now is the bigger draw because they've been good for so fucking long.
That sounds fair, but I don't believe it's going to be that way. I think they're going to ride this train all the way.
We'll see. Their roster still looks great. Like first game, the opening game of the season was we saw how that one went. They ended up squeaking out the win, which was great. But I think that this year, the way things have gone with so many teams, yesterday losing that was like the favorite teams, and my shit got fucked up. My little.
You got a little play? Parlay?
No. I'm in a pool on a weekly betting pool.
Oh, a betting pool.
Nah, it's not true fantasy where you go through the draft and it's like weekly, as we call it. It's on ESPN. It's called Pigskin Pick'em, and I'm in a group with friends and all that shit. So every week we pick the games, winners, losers. We put money into the pot. At the end of the week, whoever's the winner, the best record on the week as far as wins and losses, you win.
Nice.
So I'm like right in the top of the league. Well, I got to check after yesterday because my shit got blown to the shit. So Monday night is when I usually check after the Monday night game to see how everything rolled out. But this week I know I ain't got a shot at winning. But I don't think anybody had, because we didn't see the way the games played out yesterday being what the outcome was supposed to be, if I said that correctly. But whatever. But either way, like every week we bet. So we just see who got the best picks for the week. So this week, I don't know. It could be interesting, though, because I'm sure a lot of people picked the same wins that I had, and they didn't go the way we thought they were going.
No one had their picks right. I mean, maybe one or two people, but I'm just looking at it from the perspective of like, if you thought you had, you had, you know what I mean? No.
My picks got blown to hell like very, very quickly yesterday, or over the weekend, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. But
the Giants
NFL,
are still doing bad too.
We're not talking about the Giants.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to say
my big New York energy is gonna come out when the basketball season roll around, bro. The Giants are a disgrace.
Yeah, they're just
blow the team up,
MetLife Stadium.
Throw the whole roster in the trash. You know, throw the whole roster in the trash. We was close to MetLife Stadium this weekend, and I wanted to like spit on it every time I went past it. So just because the product we putting out is nasty,
not good,
nasty,
not good.
Still NFL though. We never got a chance to touch on it.
What's up?
It happened after our last recording.
What happened?
Tyreek Hill.
Oh,
any thoughts real quick? I don't want to stay on it too long. Just because.
Do you not want to talk about it though? Because I feel like it's important, isn't it?
It is, but
it's a little late in the news cycle.
Even that. It's just I just think that it's so many perspective has been regurgitated. So I'll give my take on it real quick. I'm just opening up because I know we didn't get to speak about it here. So if you want to touch on it, go ahead.
If we can say anything, it's that I think Tyreek handled the press and the attention afterwards pretty darn well.
I'll give him that.
I think he handled it pretty darn well.
In the moment, no, but I think that after he did his best to clean it up.
Yeah.
Which he did the right thing on that way.
And this is an opportunity, again, for the NFL. And I've been critical on them about how they need to make certain things like...
That's why I wanted to bring it up, because off of the Colin Kaepernick into that,
it showcases, again, the issues we have in our society where... I don't know if you've seen the movie Rebel Ridge on Netflix.
Nah, I ain't seen that one.
But it's a traffic stop and some things happen in the movie. But the bottom line is, it's like I know a lot of people will look at Tyreek Hill, look at his flashiness, look at his and say he should have been this, he should have been that, he should have been that. You will never know what it feels like though unless you've been black and got pulled over. There is a feeling, there is a energy that comes with that experience that is unlike anything else. And it's embedded in our culture, in our history, and in American society. And unless you're willing to dive deep and take a journey of understanding of like, wait a minute, why is it affecting people? Why is it an issue? Why is there so much emotion connected to it? Then you know, my words ain't gonna do nothing for you. If you ain't willing to literally like get into it and like delve deep and learn, anyone else listen to the podcast, y'all know what it's like. Y'all experience it, y'all get it. But for those that watch the pod that don't have that experience, unless you're willing to learn and try to educate yourself, man, I can't even begin to have a comment.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying?
I do think it's made for interesting dialogue, and I've seen a lot of it. You know, the sports debate shows talking about it, the Instagram posts from reputable sports people, or just sports figures, or the talking heads in sports. Again, it's been regurgitated a lot, so I don't want to spend too much time on it just because it is something that can get it can be a long, drawn out conversation.
Yeah.
You know, and if we don't realize that there's problems with the criminal justice and just the police system and all that nowadays, then you fucking live under a rock. So I don't think that any of that should be news to anyone. You know, if you want to act like it's not, then you are probably the kind of person who we ain't speaking to. It's like, you know,
Facts.
Or just fast forward or whatever. I don't know what to tell you. But at this point, we know there's issues with that kind of, you know, interaction, police interaction with black people. Finding out more about the not context, but I guess about the way the scenario went down with the stop, I do lean more into I can understand why he would have responded that way initially.
Yeah.
Because at first when I saw it, and this is me being open, transparent with y'all, my first thing was like, my first statement, and this is to a private group chat that I'm in, that we was talking about it, I said, sometimes people be asking for it and then acting like victims on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we saw the energy that he gave off when the officer approached the car, you know? So when I first saw that, I'm like, you know, but finding out more about it, and this is from people who were, I guess, knowledgeable of the Miami Dolphins team and just the commute to the stadium or whatever, that lane that he got pulled over in was a lane designated for personnel with the Miami Dolphins.
The Miami Dolphins, yeah.
So, you know, that to me was kind of the part that's like, okay, so him getting even pulled over in that lane was like, bro, you know who the fuck I am or where I'm going. Or even if you don't know who the fuck I am, like, you know I'm somebody associated with this, you know, this team. And even knowing that the police were hired as extra security or whatever to make sure that everything went smooth on game days for the Miami Dolphins, even more egregious to me. So
what if it wasn't Tyreek? That's the real thought. And I think about that a lot of times.
And he said that himself.
Yeah.
So it could have been a whole different situation, you know? I don't think and this is just to like backtrack on my statement that, you know, acting like victim situation. I don't think that anything should have warranted him being treated the way he was treated, you know? But I did, as a black man, my stance is always get home or get to wherever the fuck you gotta go when you are involved in a police interaction. I've been in a few my damn self. I've actually been taken into central bookings myself. Yeah. Like I've been locked up by the police off of a traffic stop we ain't even gonna go into the whole reason. So I do understand what it's like to be in that situation. But, you know, my number one course of action is just make it home or make it to wherever the fuck you gotta go. So I'm just gonna be very, very compliant in most ways. And I'm not gonna give her any energy that's like because again, it's a pissing contest. Like,
you gotta watch that movie. I'm telling you, like everything you're saying right now.
I've seen a few movies like that.
It's like even if you do that, it's still gonna be something.
This is true. And we know that can still be the case. I'm just saying I'm not going to then spark it even more by
Don't add fuel to the fire. Yeah.
Right. So I'm gonna just listen. What you need? No, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was speeding. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Like,
supposedly this guy though had like 6 suspensions and like numerous reprimands. Yeah. Like he wasn't.
He was one of them.
Best.
He was one of them. We can see
the force.
They was all one of them for able to even get to that point. So I ain't even gonna spend time like talking about the officer because we just know how police like that get down. Like, you know, and unfortunate situation, but I do think it has sparked a lot of good conversation on the back end and shown a lot of light because some people, you know, that video for people who aren't black or aren't colored was kind of like, damn, like, okay. And I think it's seeing it happen to one of their favorite athletes too was like another thing that's like, oh shit, like, you know.
But I mean, this is what this is why it frustrates me because
it shouldn't have to be an athlete. It shouldn't have to be.
Exactly.
We know that.
And the NFL should be doing more besides making Kendrick Lamar the halftime show. Like,
we're gonna get to that.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
we're gonna get to that.
You can't just can't sweep it under all the racism and the.
But the NFL can only do so much. You know?
They didn't do anything. What they do?
They raised $300 million, like you said last week. Right. See,
what I'm saying is, if the biggest at least one of the biggest sports in the country, they own a freaking day of the week, sometimes 2. But if they own a day of the week, and you telling me they've done everything they could to make sure the race relations in America has improved for the next generation, I don't agree with that.
We're going backwards again. And
I'm just saying, in terms of me and where I think the NFL has made the effort, $300 million to various charities, you know, like, I appreciate that. And Tyreek still getting pulled over and you know, harassed by police.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's not.
If you're doing that, maybe it didn't work. Let's try something because it didn't work. And your own players are getting harassed.
But it's not going to work. Is what I've been. My point is, it's not going to work because they don't have they're not the authority on what happens to black people when we run into police.
I agree with that.
That to me is a whole bigger, deeper conversation. But we're gonna pivot because we spent a lot of time on that last week. But
I gave you a segue opening right there.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, we ain't even going there first. We're gonna keep it NFL.
Where you wanna go?
Your boy Shay Shay.
Oh my goodness.
Real quick. Staged or not? Staged or not?
Whether it was staged or not, I can't call, but I know that activity was actually happening.
No, I am of the belief that it actually did occur.
I'm of the belief it actually occurred.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he did it on purpose or not.
That's what I'm saying. What do
I
you
don't
think?
know. Here's the thing. Him getting out of his ESPN deal, does he still get his money? That'll tell me.
He ain't getting fired.
I thought he got fired from ESPN.
No, they said there'd be no course of action, which made Paul Pierce go crazy. Well, I don't know.
Wait,
Sorry,
wait,
that
wait,
might have
wait,
been
wait,
that might have been from a fake account. The thing about Paul Pierce, but ESPN came out. They said there'll be no course of action against Shannon.
You're
Sharpe.
telling me so he got away with it and
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Facts.
Oh yeah, ESPN won't fire Shannon Sharpe.
No, he's good. He's good.
So they just didn't like Paul Pierce then. That's what that I mean.
Hey, hey, I don't know. The difference between the two is
also Shannon is hot right now.
Yeah.
Paul Pierce ain't got the same kind of
ain't got that kind of cachet.
heat. Yeah.
They ain't got that kind of cachet.
Yeah.
What
Shannon
Draymond
got
said,
eyes.
they don't love you. They don't love
They
you.
don't love you.
Right.
So that's the difference.
And not for
Pierce
nothing,
being
Paul Pierce has landed on his feet just fine. He's been on other
He's
broadcasts.
fine.
He's been on
He's
FS1.
fine.
He's on
He's
Joy Taylor,
fine.
the Taylor Talks, whatever her show's called. Sorry if I'm misquoting that.
But Shannon getting that chicken right now.
Got rid of his ass in a heartbeat.
So, but I heard there was also some kind of like lawsuit or something going on with his baby, the young lady that was in the video.
Michelle?
Yes. Supposedly there was like a defamation suit or something like that that she had against him that was still in the courts, but she still was dealing with him in other ways.
Oh, I ain't know that. That's
And
news
by
to me.
doing this, it kind of like nullifies that whole case. Like, how you gonna say he's this, he's that? He's defamating you, but at the same time, you're dealing with him.
Yeah,
and
that's
having
over.
those kind of. So that may be that's where I'm like, I don't know if it was
That's over.
on purpose or it was a well-crafted ploy. But either way, the outcome is the outcome. And the way Shannon landed on his feet, I think you got to tip your hat to Ocho, because Ocho helped him out a lot, I think, in that moment.
In what way?
Because Ocho is this kind of like that whole nightcap platform is supposed to be raunchy. It's supposed to be wild.
And I watched it right after that. I tuned in. They got me. I was right on that stream as soon as it started.
And when you have someone on the other side of the thing saying you fine, it's okay, it's all good, it kind of like takes the steam off. It makes it less serious. It's like, but if this was 2010, man, the world would have went crazy. The world would have went like
maybe not.
What?
My take is
we got mad when Janet Jackson had a titty pop out the Super Bowl.
I mean, because we saw a titty. That's different than
It was
hearing
still
somebody
covered. It was still-
in the
it was still
background
covered.
and papa or whatever she called him. Yeah, like
Yo, boss.
like that's a different situation. Visual versus and that's why I think maybe Paul Pierce got in trouble because he had a lot of things visually going
see what
on
was happening.
that and you could lean into like, oh, I didn't know my phone was on and this was happening and getting out to the world. Like you could lean into that. Paul Pierce, there ain't no way to say like, yo,
Paul was.
I ain't know I had some
Paul was
girls
being
around
crazy.
and we was all drunk. Like that was wild.
That was a wild
situation.
joint. And then Kevin Garnett always used to try to protect Paul.
No doubt.
He'd be like, yo, hey,
Loose
yo,
cannon.
hey,
KG
yo.
is always trying to protect him. Like Paul, like calm down, bro. And Paul is just a loose fucking cannon. Like
Shouts to Paul though. I like that he's him.
And not for nothing, my take is I don't know if he deserved to be fired over that too. And I said that back when it happened. Personal lives
Deserve.
If you're
I don't
not
know the
doing
word deserve.
anything illegal, I do think that might have been a little off.
I tell people all the
clip him
time,
for
your
that.
conduct outside of work has to match the level of the position that you hold.
I mean, sure, I
You
get that.
can't be the CEO and then be out, getting video getting twerked on and all that craziness. Like,
We've seen it.
ooh,
We've seen it.
ooh.
We've seen people.
You never seen Steve Jobs getting twerked on or
Rest in peace.
You know what I'm saying? You never
Rest
seen
in
like
peace. We don't-
Walt Disney. Like I'm talking about when you talking about the level of position. It depends on the job that you got. If you trying to be the CEO of a mom and pop pizza shop, yeah, that's
I
different.
mean, I get it.
you doing
I'm
it.
not saying that it was wrong of them to terminate him. I just think that it happened in a way that made it look like they never really fuck with him.
I would, that
That's
part.
That's
that
my
part.
perspective.
That- I
my
agree with
best way
that.
that I can phrase that is that it looked like they never really messed with him in the first place.
Oh yeah.
And Shannon is different. Shannon's hot as fish grease right now,
Hot
so I
as
think
fish
they
grease.
would be behooved to keep him on board.
Keep them eyes,
You know.
them viewers, yeah.
But real or fake, I think it's staged. I think it's a little staged.
You think that he did it on purpose?
Yeah, hell yeah.
For what?
Content.
Oh.
Content,
Is
number
he-
one,
I don't think he's
to
that
dispel the
ingenuine.
rumors that he may be gay or bisexual, whatever they've been saying about him, like all that kind of stuff.
Oh.
Content, for sure. Number one reason, content. Because
Do you
people
think
who,
he's that kind of person at this point in
Hell
his
yeah.
life?
hell yeah.
He needs to do something like that? I don't think he needs to do that, though.
Maybe not that, but something to keep his name like
Trending.
in the content.
Think about it. Shannon Sharpe had the biggest year of podcasting.
Right.
pretty much.
So people with power usually want one thing.
What, more power?
Yes.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of different ways to go about that.
That-
I thought
that
to
would
me,
make-
I
that would
thought it
leave a
was
bad taste in
very
my mouth.
odd. To me, I thought it was very odd. And I told you I watched the nightcap right after, right after the whole thing played out. And he
Yeah.
said, dropping us, he put it out on Instagram. Emergency nightcap tonight. Whatever. We going live. I'll put it out. And then when the shit started, I thought it was odd that the first thing he promoted, or one of the first things he promoted, was a dick pill.
Interesting.
RO is the name of this shit. Like,
We ain't
and it's
giving him no
supposed to
money.
be,
We ain't giving him no money.
stronger
Chill,
than
chill, chill, chill,
fire.
chill. We ain't giving no money.
But I think that it was very odd that was one of the first things he promoted.
He definitely has a stake in that.
How do you turn that kind of endorsement around that quickly is my
Well,
thing.
So you had to pre-plan that endorsement and then make that
I
happen?
don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't watch
Maybe.
Nightcap all the time. So if I'm wrong and he's been doing it for a couple episodes now, if it's been something that's been in his rotation of shit he promotes, cool. But I do
But if
think
he had multiple, then that would make it.
if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Staged,
But
to
I do
me.
think it was a little funny. And I know I've seen a lot of people think that they think it might be staged.
Staged.
So
Yeah,
for me,
that's fair.
it could be, could not be. I know he was actually getting it
Yeah,
on
he
from
was
what it
not
sounded
acting.
like.
He wasn't
And he
acting.
owned it, so I don't think he's capping to say that I was actually getting, I was actually getting to it in that situation. I don't
Yeah.
think he's lying about that, but I do
Facts.
think that it may have been some orchestration behind it, and that's
that-
just my take.
See, my thing is he could have made the mistake, and when you're at that level, you have a team. Hey, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pivot. We're gonna connect with this. Do this. We're
Sure.
still gonna make it work. Don't worry.
I
We
mean,
got this
sure.
play. Cause you get like Olivia Pope from Scandal. You got
No
to fix
doubt.
her. You supposed to have a person
Yeah, the team.
that can pivot and put something in play, so you can still get to a bag, even if you do mess up like that.
Hey man, I'm not saying that.
Yeah. I'm
It
not
did.
saying
It didn't
you're wrong.
happen in that way.
Yeah.
I think it may have been a little orchestration to it.
That's fair, man.
On the back end, I think he's got his name in the cycle again. Shannon
Yeah,
Sharpe,
Shannon
this is that,
Sharpe,
whatever.
Shannon
He's
Sharpe,
continuing to have
Shannon
a
Sharpe.
hottest fish grease year, and I think this is just way to. They say the content creators want to turn it up in the fourth quarter because that helps them set up things for next year.
Yeah.
As far as what they can like the deals they can go out there and get like all that kind of stuff. So I think maybe it was a little bit of that. But
I
hey,
don't think
man,
I've watched Shannon Sharpe's
y'all like it, I
Shay
love it.
podcast.
Y'all like it?
Since the
you just had Marlon Wayans on.
yeah, I haven't watched. I saw clips of that one though,
Yeah.
but I haven't watched the Shay Club Shay podcast.
And that one did numbers too. So his numbers is always high. I just think it's another way for him to like, I bet I'm here now. I ain't going nowhere on this content shit.
Yeah, he's
you know.
definitely took it to the whole new light.
Yeah.
Whole new
And he,
level.
from what I understand, he wants to grow Nightcap. So if Club Shay Shay's podcast is already doing good and this is his next thing, how do you grow the Nightcap?
It has to be raunchy. It has to be wild. It has to have this kind of thing to it.
See what I'm saying? So
I see you.
I'm not.
You're
I don't have
cooking.
proof.
So my real question is: are you gonna go on IG Live anytime soon?
Me
We gotta grow the pod, man.
for the right reason. For the right reason and something organic to me. Like I ain't,
Are Blue Chews organic? No,
I
I'm just messing with you.
am blessed enough to not need any of those things at this state or juncture in my life. So,
Facts.
hey man, my shit stand up just fine when it needs to.
Let's pivot, bro. Let's pivot.
We gonna pivot off of that. We gonna pivot off of that.
Man.
Keeping the NFL, we just touched on it, man. I guess we gotta open it up again.
Yeah, man. Go ahead. This is your moment. Shine, bro.
It ain't really my moment
I mean, it's about you
because
your
they
guy.
stealing time away from my guy, and that's what I don't really like about the whole situation.
They're stealing time. What you mean?
I guess we'll open it up first, but
Sure.
the Kendrick backlash, man, this shit is out here. This shit is out here in a big way. I try to have a big reaction to him being announced as a Super Bowl performer in February for 2025. 2025
cool.
coming up, and then they're just stepping all over the shit, all over the place, and
Yeah.
I feel like it's a lot of
What are you gonna do, man?
A lot of hate going on right now, and it's just gotten so messy. But hey, man, we here for content, so we're gonna talk about it. Hopefully, we can add our names to
what's
the
your
mix,
take,
man.
What's your take of the backlash?
Stop stepping on people's moment is my take on the backlash.
Okay.
It is unfair to have someone be afforded an opportunity such as Kendrick being the Super Bowl performance, and all y'all little fucktards running around with your opinions on this and your opinions on that. It's like you stepping on someone's shine when the most important thing should be the fact that he has been afforded the opportunity to perform at the Super Bowl. Like, I don't want to hear the peanut gallery talking about, oh, it should be Wayne. Oh, it should be Wayne. Why isn't Wayne the performer? Da, 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 whatever. And, oh, Jay-Z's just doing this because he's mad at Drake. Drake should have never disrespected Beyonce. And, oh, Baby's mad now. He's calling out everybody and saying, I'm gonna make them respect us on Gladys and all this other shit. Like, it's like just too much now. Like, it's like Wayne didn't get it. Like, Wayne didn't get it. So all your reasons and all your outrage about why he didn't get it, it doesn't fucking matter because he's not getting the opportunity to perform at the Super Bowl.
That's fair.
So all the shit back and forth that you've been hearing all week and people is beefing and everyone has this and that to say about it, like, it's unfair to step on people's shine like that, man. And I'm not just saying this because it was Kendrick, because if it was some other situation, say if it was, I don't know, if it was Florida had the Super Bowl and maybe, who could I say? Nas or somebody got it over Rick Ross, and Rick Ross is from Florida. Like, I would feel the same way. Like, and I like both of the artists. So it's not like I'm like choosing sides. Do I like Kendrick? Yes. Am I a Kendrick fan? Yes. I also am a Lil Wayne fan too. But I don't think it's fair to step on people's moment to say, like, we're just gonna flood the internet with our opinions about why someone shouldn't have the opportunity versus just appreciate what you have in front of you. You know, it's unfair and it's a little bit bullshit. I would be a little bit upset if that was the reaction for everyone about something that I was rightfully given. Because it ain't like I didn't put in the work to get there. If I'm Kendrick, it ain't like I'm not having one of the best years of an artist in the game. If I'm Kendrick, like, the right people chose me for the opportunity. So why is it a thing to say that I shouldn't be on the stage or I shouldn't be here because Lil Wayne's out there? You know,
I think
just a little unfair. Yeah, I want my perspective.
You know, I want to make sure you're done. I don't want to cut you off.
No, for sure. That's all I got for now. But yeah,
I think if you listen to the pre-pod on Spotify, you hear what I'm referencing right now is going to talk about loyalty, which is one of the things that I said. If you don't have loyalty, it's one of the ugliest traits on it internally. But listen to the pre-pod, you'll hear more about it. But when I'm saying what I think is happening, right? Two things can be true. Yes, Kendrick earned his opportunity. Yes, but the truth can be said about Lil Wayne. He earned his opportunity too. His body of work, his years of mastery of his craft, his ability to perform, all of that has value, has merit. And I think what we're hearing and what we're seeing is the love that we have for two of our greats. And I think when you look at it, Kendrick loves Lil Wayne. I think the problem isn't Lil Wayne. The problem is Drake.
Not to cut you off, but did you see the video of Kendrick back in 2016 when Wayne said he was retiring?
Yeah.
And Kendrick drunk in the studio talking about don't retire, singing his songs to the loud as hell. Like,
yes, and that's what I'm saying. Like, there's love for our greats, and that's what I'm saying. Two things can be true at the same time. Both of them would, I think, they even have songs together.
Yeah. They have songs together.
It can still be a thing where Kendrick and Lil Wayne could perform at the Super Bowl together, but they can't because not Lil Wayne, but because of Drake. And I think that's where it gets to where, are we putting our anger at the right person? Are we mad at the right person? I'm not mad at Kendrick for being on the show because he definitely earned his position. He is at the pinnacle or the peak of hip hop right now.
The peak.
There's no one else that can stand up like the way he has stood up and did the rules. He's written his little lyrics. He's performed, done super huge tours, has the numbers, has the content, has the music, and he's battled and won against the biggest names in the game. What more can you say he needs to do to prove that he earns a spot? But in saying that, the longevity argument, the tenacity of the talent, Lil Wayne is up there. Has some of the best music that you can probably. He has hits for days. He can go on that stage and kill it just like anybody else. In that era, if they wanted to pull it together and make something happen. But that's not the argument. The fact that Drake and him have beef, there's two separate sides of this game. They'll never be on the same stage together if this is still a beef that's going on. So in order for that to happen, you have to squash the beef between Drake and Kendrick, which I know it's not going to happen.
No, that's over.
Right? And even if you did squash the beef, I don't think that like Lil Wayne would want to do it with Kendrick. I think he wants his own stage, just like
I mean, he said he wasn't going to bring nobody out when he sat down with, was it Taylor Rooks, I want to say? Talking about the old clip from when he was talking about, if I got on the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so it's like that feeling of our egos, and he's not our egos, but the egos of these greats, that has to be checked. And we have to come back to, like, if we're going to represent the community, the culture of hip-hop, let's do it in a way where everybody gets to shine who has, help to build the quilt, right? To take it to Black history, right? Help to build the quilt that is hip hop, and let people, that's the loyalty part. There's people from New Orleans, from NOLA, who are going to be loyal to Lil Wayne till they die.
Of course.
Because that is their goal. That's like the Super Bowl being 100%. In New York and Jay not performing at the Super Bowl.
But I don't think that even if it was in New York, that we should just assume, and this is Jay, so he's on the committee, so I guess bad example.
He would be there. But
if it was like Nas or some other great New York legend or LL Cool J or something like that. Like, I don't think that we, as an artist from the city, nah, it's not. But I'm just saying, as an artist from that city, I don't think that we've never really operated with the person from that city is the person that's going to perform at the Super Bowl until LA.
LA did it that way,
right? But you also got to factor in that who they had on that stage, the relationships, the business that they do, all that other stuff, and like for what I've even more so this week, what I found out over the past week is that you literally have to have your business together. To be afforded that opportunity to get on the stage for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's
Lil Wayne ain't got his business together in that way. He just changed managers. His engineer is now his manager, which is what I just found out over this week. His engineer is his manager.
There's a lot.
Why?
There's a lot there.
Like, you're not setting yourself up to,
They're in different.
Lil Wayne, from what I found out even more and more this week, is that he does not have the best relationships with people who offer him opportunities to do shows and things like that. If you don't think the people who make these decisions for the Super Bowl are looking into every little detail in that way, then you gotta be nuts. Like did you see the shit that came out with the person that was on the Grammy committee that said what they said about Lil Wayne?
No, what they
I ain't gonna go in to try to find it, but they basically said he was one of the hardest people to work with. He didn't show up to rehearsals. He showed up, he did his thing, he left. He didn't really make nice with the people. He did that type of stuff sticks with people in the industry, and when it becomes time for you to get another opportunity, it's gonna work against you. So I don't think that Wayne, not to say that Wayne cannot do the show and do great at it.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne fan from all the way back from when he was still a hot boy. So I'm not shitting on Wayne in any sense. He's one of the better rappers throughout history. Longevity, all that shit. But I don't think Wayne right now is in a place to where that look is the best for him from the people that make those decisions. And I just seen earlier, because there's been speculation back and forth, et cetera, that they said Jay-Z is one of the people who makes the final decision on who gets to perform.
He chooses every time.
Yes. So it's been like one of the people who's on the committee said, it's Jay's decision. I just saw it on the way over here.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. Well, now we finally get that.
We know that he didn't choose Lil Wayne. We know that.
Fair enough.
And that's his choice. And I'm not.
But he also just paid Lil Wayne's taxes. So.
Not just did he. That was a minute ago.
Well, whatever. Most recent, one of the most recent things. He just paid Lil Wayne's taxes not too long ago, within the past, how was that, last year or whatever?
I don't know how long ago it was, but
it wasn't that long ago. It wasn't that long ago. He was just at the Fanatics thing. Lil Wayne was there with Jay. They was together. So I don't think it's a thing to say that, hey, I don't fuck with Wayne.
I think there's layers.
There's multiple layers to it. Yeah, the whole beef thing with Drake and Kendrick might be part of it as well. But I don't think Wayne has ever stuck his neck out for Drake to say like, yo, I'm standing with him in this whole beef shit in the first place, because Wayne also has been a person to kind of protect his, I guess, relationships across the board. You know, we've never seen Wayne stand by Lil Wayne in the by Drake in the beef.
He can't stand on that stage though.
Nah, he can't.
Not if he gonna go A
nah,
minor.
For sure.
Nah,
for sure. I would agree to that, but I'm just saying in general, I don't think Wayne, outside of the beef thing, Wayne has shown support for Kendrick from before anyway. Right now, I do think it gets even more layered with Wayne putting out that whack ass video that he put out.
I didn't even see it. That's how whack it was, huh?
The video, I mean, it was all over the place. The video with him talking about how, oh yeah, I didn't, you know, I'll let y'all down and et cetera, et cetera. You didn't see that video?
Nah, I didn't see that shit.
You read comments from it?
I think the only comment I heard was from you. That's about it.
Oh, we gotta play it then.
Yeah, please.
I know y'all heard it, but this is for live reaction time. So
I want to see what it's
this
about.
video is whack, and I ain't gonna spend too much more time on it. But this video, like, it really left a bad taste in my mouth as a Wayne fan. Pause. Really, yeah, really.
I'm curious now.
Bad timing, just not the right, and here it is.
I hurt a lot. You know what I'm talking about? I hurt a whole lot. I blame myself for not being mentally prepared for a letdown. And for just automatically mentally putting myself in that position like somebody told me that was my position. So I blame myself for that. But I thought that was nothing, you know, I thought that was nothing better than that spot and that stage and that platform in my city. And
he's talking to someone holding the camera.
But y'all are fucking amazing. It made me feel like shit not getting this opportunity. And when I felt like shit, you guys reminded me that I ain't shit without y'all. And that's an amazing reality. So, like I said,
what's the bad about that? What's so bad about that? I think there's accountability there. There's accountability. He didn't blame nobody else but himself.
No, he didn't blame nobody. Well, there's not really accountability because it's not addressing the other things that he might have done that didn't put him in the best light to get the opportunity. Yeah, he didn't say like, oh, well, you know, I messed up that whole shit with the guy with the Grammys, or like, you know.
Well, I don't know if that video was gonna be that either.
Sure, but don't put shit out, because again, it just goes to you stepping on someone else's moment. And I think the only reason that video came out is because of the beef with Drake and Kendrick.
Interesting. I do believe
because Wayne he's not the artist that just jumps on live or jumps on a video for every little. Like, you barely ever hear from Wayne when it comes to anything like news related. Wayne likes to act like he don't even hear shit oftentimes. Like, oh, I didn't even know that was going on. Whatever.
Let me say this: shit. There's a different world we're living in post the J. Cole moment. I think rappers are now being vulnerable, and that's a beautiful thing. I think we're shifting away from you got to maintain this bravado and you can't speak about your feelings and emotions. He sounded genuine in that moment that he was hurt, that he lost an opportunity.
I'm sure he was hurt.
And he never said he's mad at Kendrick or he wished he did something. I feel like he kept it very centered on him. He said he put himself in a mental space where he thought he was going to get it. And that's where he holds himself accountable that he shouldn't have did that. And
sure,
he let the fans down. Not no one else. He let the fans down. I feel like in those statements, he's not wrong in that.
Who's to say you was gonna get it anyway? Is the thing.
That's fair, but like, that's where his mindset was at.
But that's, to me, is off to say that. Oh, like I didn't. Like, who's to say you was gonna be the Super Bowl performer if it wasn't Kendrick?
Nobody said it. He thought it though. That's what he thought,
and that's problematic.
And that's why he owned up to it. He's like, I put myself there.
But you got to hold that on your own. We don't need to hear that as the fans. Like,
well, that's an option.
We don't need to hear that as the fans. Like, that's some shit you got to eat.
A lot of people
with your own team.
A lot of people disagree with that because they want to hear the perspective of the artist. What does Ja Rule think? You know what I mean? That whole thing with Dave Chappelle back in the day was like, but what does Ja Rule think? Yeah. No, but people want to hear what the people that are affected by because the whole swarm. You had Nicki Minaj making comments.
Right.
You had a bunch of people making comments. We want to hear from the horse's mouth. What did they have to say?
Let them people talk.
Nah,
Let them people talk.
I'm glad I heard that.
Because the one thing I respect about Kendrick is we ain't heard anything from him since any of this shit came out.
No round two.
We ain't seen a post. We ain't seen we seen all music and opportunities.
That whack little drop he had, that little whack little track he put out. That's kind of whack to me.
Nah, you crazy.
What?
I ain't gonna get into a play
it didn't have nothing to it to me.
Are you serious? Did you listen to the track?
I listened to it.
I'm surprised coming from you.
It was kind of like
coming from you and all the toxic shit that you say.
What's your name is over. I was like,
the party's done.
I get it.
Yeah,
Listen,
coming from you and all the toxic energy and hip hop and this is that whatever.
Yes.
To me, I'm surprised that you didn't like that song.
I just think the song wasn't that good. The message was great.
Right.
The song was kind of like
fire. I don't think the song was made for everybody, and I'm just going to say that because it wasn't it's not going to sonically connect with everybody. Because if it ain't got no drums in it, if it ain't got no bob to it, then a lot of people is going to check out very early, and that's what I've seen across the timelines with all the comments and all that shit. Y'all tripping because masterful lyricism all over that track. Great. Masterful messaging, very thoughtful, very everything. That's what I appreciate in hip hop, but that's beside the point. Just because this is a different thing. But,
let me ask you a question then. Do you feel like with him being the Super Bowl and Drake being the World Cup, is Drake have a leg up in that or
World Cup for what?
Oh, you didn't know. In 2026, Drake's performing at the World Cup.
Oh, is he? Cool.
Is that a one-up of, I guess, a status that these two ego maniacs are on right now? The status climbing achievement.
If that's the thing, that's a good look. I'm not gonna shit on it just because that's a good look too. He should that should be a big look for him. Yeah. I'm not gonna take anything away from people achieving great opportunities or having a great moment just because these artists work hard to put their best foot forward, and then they should be awarded certain opportunities because of it. And Drake's business. Canada, that's why. Oh, okay. And Drake's business is top tier from what we understand. Mm-hmm. So I can see that working out. Apparently he's turned down the Super Bowl multiple times, which I don't fucking believe.
Supposedly.
I don't believe any of that shit. But I mean, as a checkmate or this next chess piece moving, sure, I guess that's the next thing.
I thought he was gonna go to the British Basketball League.
Are that many people here gonna watch it? Is the thing.
In America?
Yeah.
No, everybody in Canada and around the world because FIFA and all that they do.
Oh, I get it. I'm a big soccer fan.
They do billion numbers.
I don't have enough soccer talk on here because I know y'all ain't gonna really want to see that shit. But I want to talk about Lionel Messi dominating the MLS, but that's a whole different topic.
It's a whole different conversation.
I just thought that it's not gonna make for much engaging dialogue. I would say that's just me sitting here standing out over my favorite soccer player. But but
I wanted to at least get your perspective on that because I know obviously this is a big deal with the whole Kendrick, the backlash and all that. And I thought it was
no doubt.
I'd be remiss if I didn't at least bring it up the Drake piece of this.
I didn't see that, so I know I miss shit often. But if it's actual fact, then big look for Drake. But
he had a whole press conference with the owner or the head of FIFA and all that. They had to sit down and talk and all that. It was like a whole thing on
more power to him.
Canadian television.
I'm not a Drake hater. This is all I'm saying.
I know.
But all this Kendrick hate, this is to me, that's just unwarranted. And I understand Lil Wayne is one of our GOATs and everyone loves Wayne and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But again, shit wasn't his to begin with. Don't count your chickens before they hatch, is what they say.
And then also, that's what I said, but last time we had the podcast discussion about the halftime show. That halftime show ain't that. It's a lot of eyes. I get you, but let's not make it into something like it's special. Because if it wasn't for In Living Color, we probably wouldn't be having these halftime shows like this.
I mean,
I don't know if you know the whole history of Living Color, but Living Color had put together their show and then made sure that they had a timer. So when they had the halftime, you could go to watch Living Color. And you could watch that. And they spanked the numbers. The numbers was crazy. So from that point on, they got Michael Jackson to do the halftime show. They said, look, we're going to make the halftime show great so that we don't lose any eyes from the football game.
I mean, it's the right move.
Yes, but
it's the right move business-wise.
Shouts to the Wayans family and all that. But I look at that and I'm like, yeah, we entertaining the masses. We don't even get paid for it. It's just like, it's just a lot to it that I don't like about the halftime show. But that's a whole nother conversation for another.
I mean,
day.
you get paid for it.
You don't get paid by the NFL.
You get paid for it in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, I hear you.
You get paid for it in a lot of different ways.
I hear you.
Like the opportunities that come leading up
The
to and the
endorsements,
opportunity,
there's a lot there.
If there's some shit
you can
that
work a deal into it, yeah.
Of course,
Sure.
and if I got my business right, I'm definitely cashing out off of a Super Bowl performance in one way or another, you know.
Yeah,
and I get your point on it, but I do think there are ways to monetize the opportunity, which great business people and great artists are going to do.
Exactly.
But you know, my take is just again, just don't step on people's shine, man. That shit really comes off very haterish, and stop being haters. Like, stop being haters. Let that man rock. Let him shine. He on top right now. You still gonna watch it anyway. Whether you hate watching, like we talk about hate shares and all that shit, like whether you hate watching or watching just to be a genuine fan, you still gonna watch it anyway, which is going to lead to it being a bigger thing than if y'all just shut the fuck up and just got on board, you know? And that's just my perspective, just because I just had to see it, and it's like overwhelming now with the hate. And I didn't like the Wayne video. That's just my perspective. I'm not shitting on him as a person. I just thought it was very distasteful in the moment and unnecessary, distasteful and unnecessary. But hey, everybody do what you want. We just having conversations.
It's good
always.
conversation at that, man.
Yeah, man. And that's that on that. Moving forward, we head into our real talk segment for the day.
Real talk.
You got the quote, and then we're gonna slide out of here.
Let's slide out, man.
But the real talk segment for the day comes with a piece of audio, so we'll open that up for conversation, just because it is somewhere that I am currently at in my own life, and I know there's some of y'all out there that can connect with it. Backstory: the audio comes from Steve Harvey, and it was given, or he said this at the most recent Invest Fest. Put on by the folks at Earn Your Leisure. And he was on stage for a seminar. I guess he was on the panel or whatever. But
Steve Harvey,
he said this.
Let me hear what you guys say.
God, I'm just not.
Oops, run it back.
You need God. I'm sorry. You just need Him.
Praise Him.
This is too hard without Him. Success is hard, man. It really is. I'm gonna ask you something else, but let me tell you about this hard thing. Look, man. You get to pick what hard you want.
Hey, yo.
But it's hard either way.
Pause, but yeah.
It's hard to be physically fit. It's hard to go to the gym and try to get in shape. It's hard, but it's hard being obese.
Facts.
It's hard. It's hard to become an entrepreneur, to go and open up a business. That's really hard. But for me, it was hard to work a 9 to 5. You got to pick your hard. Now, which one of them you want? It's hard to be it's hard to be rich. It really is. It take a lot. But it's hard to be poor. So you have to pick your hard. And you got to think of it as hard and get that in your mind, because everything you do gonna have some challenges.
Big facts.
And that was the audio, man. It really resonated with me, just because I'm currently in that state. As you know, EFS, been EFS for a long time now. So finding ways to grow, monetize, make a mark with the brand, my company, the LLC, all the things I do to promote it and just make it as big of a thing as I can myself.
Yeah.
It should be hard work, you know. This shit definitely is a challenge, and there's often times where I've been at the crossroads of like, damn, do I keep pushing with this shit? Do I just keep, trying to give my effort, energies, blood, sweat, and sometimes tears? Like, I've literally, and this is my vulnerable moment, I've had moments where I've cried over like what the direction of what I was going to do with my life.
Come on.
Off of, like, do I go one way and just take a check from somebody else, or do I really like stick my feet in the sand and just be like, nah, this shit has to work, just because like the whole no plan B like kind of mentality and all that kind of shit. And I'm not the person that's ever going to say no plan B's for everything, because some of y'all motherfuckers need a plan B. And we just going to put that out there. Some of y'all need a plan B, and sometimes you got to really decide when it is time to make that pivot. But like Steve was echoing, like life is gonna be hard one way or freaking another.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna have great success and it's gonna be hard to get there. You could just be the person again who takes a check and gets spit on by your boss just to say,
Oof.
hey, you take this money and do whatever the hell I need you to do, and maybe not see any kind of like advancement from it, maybe not see any kind of appreciation for your boss from
Yeah.
it, like that kind of stuff. So one way or another, like we all got choices to make in life.
Yeah.
So choosing your hard, pause again, because it does sound kind of crazy
It
when
does, but I
you
get
put
it,
it out
though.
there like that. But you know, that whole shit aside, like choosing your hard is a very like deep rooted thing for people. And I'm again being vulnerable, being someone who's been there himself. You really gotta decide like if this is the life that you actually want, you know. And
Yep.
even more so being in the state that I've been in all year, just like the whole stay uncomfortable thing, stay uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Like there's been times this year alone where the shit look all like peachy and like sunshine and rainbows. I really had conversations with myself alone when nobody was around to be like, yo, like what the fuck am I really about to do here?
What are you doing?
Like, what am I doing? How we like? What's the next move? I don't know the next move, so I'm like, I really got to try to figure it out. But having those conversations with yourself is where you either lean one way or another. And it's not to say that everybody should be an entrepreneur, not to say that everybody should have the I'm gonna go against the grain and do my own thing like mentality, because some people are just okay with taking the check, you know.
Yeah.
Some people is okay with just living in, hey, I don't have anything to worry about. My boss pays me. I got insurance. I got a house. I got a this, that, whatever. Like, and that's fine. Like, I'm never going to be the person to shit on anyone to say that you should want to do things a different way, because everybody ain't built for that. You know, everybody ain't built for that. And that's 100% fine. You have to make that choice within yourself as an individual, mentally, spiritually, all those things to like be okay with that. And if you are, I know people who's very, very happy. They've been working the same job for 20, 30 years. And I've been working for this company. They treat me great, or they don't treat me great, but they pay me enough and I can support my lifestyle, you know? And that's
Yeah,
one
that's
way of
fair.
going about it, you know?
Yeah.
But even still, you're going to have to deal with hardships and trials
There's
and
ups and
tribulations
downs, yeah.
in that as well. You
course.
know, what if you get clipped? What if you get fired? You
Yeah.
know, I've been in a state now where I sometimes have to worry about my job security and my other situation, you know, and that's stuff that I ain't going to expose on here just because
No. But
it ain't for y'all. That's me personally having to deal with my own feelings on that. But, you know, the other flip side of it is if you are going to go that route, and this is more so like real talk and motivation, like sometimes those uncomfortable feelings that you really, really are sitting with to stick out what you feel like your mission, your purpose, your core, your being is meant to be, and the things that you want to do in life. Like the hard conversations and the hard times when you're really sitting around looking like, I don't know what the hell is about to happen, but I just got to take one step or one course of action towards whatever my goal is, you know, whatever that success is for me. You know, we talk about engineers for success. It's always moving, et cetera,
Come
et
on
cetera.
now.
Like sometimes if you're going to choose that this is your heart, it has to be an unwavering belief in whatever you're choosing to do.
yeah.
And no matter how it pans out, you got to be okay with this is the path that I'm choosing to take.
Facts.
Like, this is the way I want to go with this. This is the way I want to feed my family. This is the way I want to get rich, if that's what success is for you. This is the way I want to make impact, if that's what success is for
Come
you.
on.
But being in that position, like, you really have to let those feelings seep in and, like, understand that the shit ain't always going to be peaches and cream.
Nah.
Like, you know, and also just even this podcast, outside of the podcast, has been other things for me as well. But just having the chance to be here and see things kind of grow a little bit, but then it's like, damn, like, you know, there's still so much further to go. You know,
Yes.
there's so many things that I want to do. There's so many opportunities that I want to get to. There's so many kind of contents that I want to put out. Like, all those things are like down the road goals. And sometimes when you look down the road too far, it can deter you from the right now, you know. And we've talked about him often here on this podcast, but the thing that I loved about Kobe the most was his messaging on just enjoying or falling in love with the uncomfortable process to make little steps towards whatever the big thing is for you. Because if you just love the end result, then you ain't really gonna love it that much, you know, if it's just handed to you. But everything means more when you grind to literally go get that shit. And it's hard, and it's literally something that you gotta like beat your head against the wall or just sit around and like, I gotta think about what the fuck I'm gonna do to make this shit work. And then you try shit and then it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then you're like, all right, cool, I gotta pick myself up off the ground, try something else. That might not work too, until it's that one thing that's like, okay, we getting somewhere now. Let me lean into that. Let me make sure that's something that I can execute, and then the next thing's gonna happen from there. But all this shit is hard. Like, we've talked about it oftentimes in this podcast. We're in a space now where things are gonna get harder for everybody. We just in that state of society. So really choosing the way you want to go going forward is one way or another. Like, I know what it is for me, and at this point, the uncomfortable feelings that I've had to sit with mainly all year long, because it's been one of the most uncomfortable years of my life. Out of my whole 38 years, this has probably been top 1 or 2 most uncomfortable years I've ever been in. I've had to deal with so many new situations, putting myself in new thought processes of just like reacting to things that have happened most recently in my life, and just the way tables have turned and all that shit. And just leaning into it to be like, something good is going to come out of this, just because at heart, my intentions are pure, my mentality is right. And then I just got to apply the effort to the things that I know are meant for me. Like speaking into existence with yourself, stare at yourself in the mirror, whether you're an affirmation person, whether you're a person that likes to draw motivation from other successful people, like whatever you need to do to keep yourself motivated and stick in that hard is just the space that you got to live in until that shit breaks through. And it's out there for you. It has been done by other people. One of my things to say to myself when I look myself in the mirror nowadays is like, why not you? Like,
why not?
Why not you? Steve Harvey is successful. Shit, freaking other black millionaires, billionaires, people just in general, like we talked about the Steve Jobs, like that. All these people had a moment of like, why not me? Like, and then they just ran with that shit.
Yeah.
So choose your heart, man. And again, it's no shade to anybody that just has the mentality, I'm just here to earn what I can and take whatever's given to me. But there are other people that are like the go-getters that want to go out there and conquer everything that they can while they got as many years on this floating rock as they have. So
swirling blue ball in space.
Yeah. So for me, that's my messaging for today on the Real Talk, man. Like, you literally have to choose your heart. And sometimes the shit I'm telling y'all is literally motivation for myself. Like, I'm gonna be honest, sometimes I watch this pod back and I'm literally looking myself in the face, talking to myself like, bro, don't back off of what you're telling yourself and telling these other people, because you are gonna be a shining light for people to achieve whatever they can through your process.
I'll tell you right now, you already are. I'm just letting you know that. You know what I mean?
I mean, I hope so. And I ain't got it all figured out. Sometimes this shit look a lot more put together than some people may actually realize. It's like, bro, the podcast look great. Like, you're doing all this stuff with your training and this is that. Like, at all, like, are you in a great space? Sometimes I'm like, bro, if you only fucking knew. If you only knew the week I just had last week, if you only knew how, like, I didn't sleep one night and I had to get up and go do what the hell I got to do. If you only knew about the things I had to go through just to make it look as simple as it does for y'all on the other side of it, you know. But I guess that means you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, you're doing something right, bro.
So whatever you got to do to keep yourself motivated, man, just understand that life is going to be difficult.
I think you'll like to
get used to it,
though, by the way.
It is? It's going to connect?
I think it's going to connect.
All right, man. Well, we get y'all the quote. We get out of here. Waldo Black got y'all today. What you got for us, man?
Well, this is on the heels of me going up the ski slope the other day and busting my ass. So
you was up there for a minute, man. We was worried about you at the bottom. We was worried about you.
But here's the thing. I got back up. I grabbed my skis.
And then you got down.
I walked up that hill, that big mountain of a hill, and I went down without falling. And it was like, oh, man, I could do this. You know what I mean? It was one of those moments. But anyway, it speaks to the quote today. And it's like, it goes a little something like this. You are in danger of living a life so comfortable and soft that you will die without ever realizing your true potential.
That's heavy.
You are in danger of living a life so comfortable and soft that you will die without ever realizing your true potential. That's from David Goggins. Shouts to him. Very motivational.
Stay hard.
Stay hard.
Stay
Choose
hard.
your heart, though.
We
Choose your
talked
heart,
about
though.
it. Choose your heart. Stay
So
hard.
yeah, so it definitely connects and definitely resonates, and you know what I mean. I definitely don't want to just be like, oh, I could have stayed comfortable and stayed on a little small slope and not went up there and did.
You went
I
up
was
there
like,
before
nah.
me. You went up there before me. I salute you for that.
Thank you. I
For
appreciate it. But I'm scared. I ain't gonna front. I was scared. First of all, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm from Harlem, New York City. Being on a ski slope by itself is just foreign.
It ain't our environment.
It's
man.
not where I've
It
ever
ain't
been.
for us.
It's never like, you know what I'm saying? It's like going from I skipped over a bunch of stuff and just went, let me go do skiing. And I'm like, wow, I gotta ski. I'm on there and I'm looking down and they don't give you no instruction. They say, good luck. Here you go. Jump.
Well, in their defense, we did not opt to get lessons.
That's fair. They charge you crazy money for the lesson. I said, no, I'm not doing
Did
it.
not opt to get lessons. We took the cheaper
I did
route.
3 of the
which is
small ones.
Give us the
and then I
shit, and then
did-
we're gonna figure it out.
3 the small slope. I got this. Went up to the big one. I said, I don't have this. I went down. My ski fell off. I had to get up, walk the skis up. It was crazy. But I did it. Second time around, went down. I looked like I don't even know a famous ski, but I don't know. I was on my ski shit.
Yeah, I don't
For
know
real.
no skiers, no famous.
I don't know
skiers.
no famous skiers, but if I was a snowboarder, I may know, Sean White or somebody like that. But I look good on that on the snow, and I'm gonna do it again. I'll tell you that right now.
At some point, we're gonna run it
Yeah.
back because I gotta learn how to snowboard better. Again, we're gonna say that content. I ain't gonna put it out there. I wanted to so bad, but I was
We should
busting
have
my
put out the
ass off.
basketball game me and him had.
It's,
That's another day though.
yeah, it's another
Another
day.
day.
That might be, that might be some live content I might be into. Instagram live that is.
There you go.
But yeah, man, that's it for us for episode number 31.
Woo.
If you made it this far through the podcast, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We are growing.
Yes, we are.
Every drop in the bucket means the bucket gets a little bit more full. So
Come on now.
we appreciate all the love that we've been getting, all the follows, the whatever comments and all that stuff. We are here to stay. We're not backing off. We are in this to win this. And that's just it, man. So again, if you made it this far, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on all platforms. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And as always, as we leave you, do not forget to guard yourselves mentally, physically, and all things in between. I'm going to leave you by saying this as well. One of my favorite sayings that carry me through the year: stay uncomfortable. Because just like David Goggins echoes, you are in danger of living a life that is lower than your true potential. And, that's really what I believe. And sometimes you just got to go through the fire to get there. And as always, we'll catch you for the next audio occasion. EFS podcast number 31 is
out,
out.
baby. We
Peace.
out. Appreciate y'all, family.